Every year during the month of November, millions of people take part in Movember. The movement is typically associated with men growing moustaches, but it involves men and women doing their bit to raise money, raise awareness, and ultimately tackle a number of issues surrounding men's health. These include issues surrounding their mental health, as well as testicular and prostate cancer. Another key way that people raise money during Movember, as well as growing a moustache, is by running 60 kilometres. This is to raise awareness of the one man that dies every 60 seconds globally due to suicide. The problem is also prominent in the UK, with 74% of suicides being done by men. 24-year-old Tom is taking part in Movember this year, and while he was out on a run to build towards his 60 kilometres, he was discussing his motivations for getting involved.
Personal struggles, I think, mental health wise, family members that have struggled with cancer, of course. It's quite a complex issue, quite a sad issue, I suppose. So it's nice to do my little bit where I can to raise awareness and potentially help anyone that is in need. It's been hard, but it's been good to realise that I'm not alone. I've reached out to mates and they've been very receptive of my kind of cry for help, I suppose. And then away from friends, also speaking to therapists. And I don't know, I think that first initial step is hard, but once you do it, it's really beneficial. And now I'm in so much better of a place, and I feel so much happier and better to kind of deal with things and deal with issues.
Tom believes there are simple ways to make a big difference.
I think it's almost double questioning things. So it's like, how are you? And then when they're like, yeah, fine, or everything's groovy, or stuff like that, and it's like, well, no, how are you actually?
Corin Gardner runs the Zen Project, a social enterprise that looks to provide people with access to support for their mental health all around the country. Corin believes that there are societal issues that lead to the stigma around men's mental health.
Men, maybe they've grown up being told that they're not meant to talk about that stuff. Maybe that it's never been role modelled to them to talk about that stuff. And then depending who you surround yourself with, maybe those conversations just are never happening. Maybe you're not sure how to read your own emotions or deal with your own emotions, so you're constantly pushing them down.
Corin believes that when you face tougher moments in life, it's important that you have people and practices that you can turn to.
I think when you have a rupture or a crisis or any of the things that you're kind of referencing, like a breakup, I think that's going to be like a huge shock to your physical and mental health. And I think at that point, it's probably a good starting point is to have someone trusted that you can turn to, that you can work through what the kind of support looks like for you. So talking about it is, of course, incredibly helpful. But then lots of the other things that are good for general regulation. So turning to a mindfulness-based practice, a breathwork-based practice, getting out in nature, finding ways to kind of create space so that your mind and body can process the shock of that and being kind to yourself and taking time.
Through the £8 million raised by Movember that has gone towards Prostate Cancer UK, they are hopeful that this will help to lead to a groundbreaking development.
So unlike other cancers, prostate cancer doesn't have a screening program currently. Last month, we launched the Transform trial, and the Transform trial aims to save thousands of men's lives year on year. So we're hoping to find the best way to screen for prostate cancer. It's the biggest and most ambitious trial ever, and hopefully it will finally give us some answers and will be a development in a routine testing system.
With 1 in 8 men being diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, it is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in men in the UK. Prostate Cancer UK are doing all they can to help people detect the disease early on and to raise awareness of the groups of people most likely to be affected by it.
It's really important that men over 50, men with family history and black men are aware of their risk. Being in one of these risk groups, they are at an increased risk of getting prostate cancer.
Through the hard work being done by those taking part in Movember, the donations that they're raising, and the discussions now being had about these topics, Movember are able to fund vital projects into men's mental health, as well as vital biomedical research into the cancers that are so common.